Well, go on everybody, welcome back to the channel. Alright, cool. So this is a continuation of my story time of how I ended up living in a haunted house for some time. Cool. This is part 2. So if you haven't watched the first part as yet, watch that and then come back to this video so that you can understand the timeline of things. Cool. But in the first one, I pretty much spoke about the red flags and things that I missed, or things that my family missed before we even moved into the house, you know. So that was interesting, and it really kind of made me realize that, yo, these things really did happen, and we were just not like paying attention or aware of, you know, what was happening. But it's always good to just go back through your memory so you can pinpoint what really went on and, you know, be aware going forward. So let me jump into part 2 of this story, and again I might change up certain names and certain dates just so that there is some sort of privacy. Don't want you go to the house and I go take picture and say the people them who live there now live in a dopey house and them thing there. So this is part 2 of living in a haunted house. Cool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you probably about 3 instances, things that happened to me as well as things that happened to other people. But these instances were what made me say, yo, like, this house is definitely haunted, you know. But just to say that things never happen every day, you know. I also had great memories in that house. It wasn't just all bad and all like doom and gloom. Like, we had some really good memories there as well. But you can't ignore the fact that, you know, things did happen. For example, you know, the radio would turn on and off by itself. But being a rational person, I would say, oh, the radio has a timer. So maybe that's, you know, the timer is just malfunctioning. But not only that, but we would, you know, hear like footsteps talking, like different things happened over time that really made us realize that, yo, this is really a haunted house, you know. And that's how it is. Like, things, you know, in cases like this, things happen gradually, you know, over time. And then you have certain things that are so blatant, so like there in your face that you can't deny the fact that, yo, this is happening. So let me jump right in. So the first instance I'm going to talk about is something that happened to a family member. Let's call her Stephanie. So Stephanie is someone who visits us regularly. However, because we just moved into this house, it would be the first time that she's visiting us at this house. She comes to the door, she calls, she hears somebody says, Stephanie's outside, you know. So that indicates to her that, you know, we're home, and she calls some more just for our neighbor to tell her that we are at church. At the time, I was heavy into church. I was actually one of those guys in high school who would sit and read the Bible and quote scriptures at school, and, you know, I was heavy into church. Let's just put it that way. So she was like, but I hear somebody call my name. So she was very confused. That is one experience that did not involve me, that, you know, someone else experienced something that was going on there. Another experience, and I'm just going to, you know, rip the band-aid off. As I said, I was heavily into church. So another experience occurred while we were at a meeting. Let's just call it a meeting. So there was a speaker who came from abroad who was speaking at a church associated with mine. And during the speaker doing what they were doing, the person began to speak over the lives of, or into the lives of, or about the lives of people in the audience. Now, she was doing her thing, and then she stopped and said, Yo, I get, like, if I'm being honest with you, like, talking about it right now, I'm afraid. Like, I get goosebumps, I'm afraid. Alright, so, man up. Alright, so she stopped and she pretty much said, there's a family here whose house has been dedicated to the devil. Yo, you see when she said that, yo, lone goosebump, like lone chills are run up my spine, cause me I said, like, I knew that we were who she was talking about, you know. And she met with us afterwards, and you know, I think she prayed, and you know, some other things happened, you know. But that was like the confirmation that I was personally looking for, that, you know, like, yes, something is happening here. Like, as I said in the first video, we've moved several times before. I've never felt the type of energy that I have felt in that house anywhere else. So it was clear that something was happening, other than like the obvious signs that I was trying to rationalize or brush off as nothing at all. So being faced with that confirmation scared the hell out of me, no pun intended. But it really like jerked me, you know. So that was like the second thing that happened that made me say, yo, yeah, yup, something is happening. And then the third thing, the third thing that happened, so my sister and I were very close this particular night. Remember I tell her in the first video that the lady said only girls used to stay in the room that I am now staying in, and in that room there was no light switch installed, and we had to install a light. Just giving her that backstory again. So this specific evening, my sister decided that, you know, she was coming over into my room because I don't think she was ever comfortable in there. So I would always go over by her room if we're talking or whatever, you know. But this particular evening, she came over to my room and we were just lying down and reasoning, and then like she fell asleep and I was awake. I was wide awake, I remember. But I was in the bed and I was just thinking, and then say for example, I won't tell you exactly what I was thinking about, but say for example, I was saying to myself, yo, you know, going to the beach tomorrow. I heard clearly, audibly, not in my head, not from any device or anything, I heard something in the room say, hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to stop for a minute and just watch something uplifting, because as I say, yo, this is like, I'm scared. I'm not gonna go around it. This is scary because it's like I'm reliving it again. I heard something speak back to me, and alright, so everything comes from vibration. I know I'm going to sound like a quack right now, but everything is vibration, and I felt the vibration of this entity. And then when I looked over, in between me and where my sister was, there was something there that I will not explain on this video. Know that it was horrible, and like I couldn't move, I couldn't talk. And I know persons are going to say, oh, sleep paralysis, and for a while I was running with that, but I wasn't asleep. I was nowhere near sleep, you know. Maybe I was lying down, but it wasn't a case where, yo, like my body was dead and my mind was still active. But I knew that this thing was there. I saw it, I heard it, and it was looking at me. And I've never felt that kind of presence before or after I felt that. So what happened is that eventually got control of myself, and I scream like like a scream, loud, shout. If you want to say shout, or I don't know what the like male equivalent of a scream is, but I'm calling it a scream, which woke up my sister, and she didn't know what was happening, but she knew like generally what was happening in the house, and we pretty much just ran to our parents' room and told them what happened, and we eventually moved out because it was just too much, and it was taking a toll on us, in our different ways, but it was really taking a toll on us. And then during that time I started to suffer from some real depression. I think that's where it started, and just some other things were happening, like emotionally, physically, like there was just a lot that was going on, and I think it was because of that place. So we moved. I can tell you a lot more instances of things that occurred, but I'm leaving it at those 3 instances, and if you want more we can discuss it. Just looking back at my life, it seems as if I have a certain sensitivity towards those things. For example, in my childhood, which can be another story, but I don't want to turn this channel into like a paranormal channel, but I do have some stories that I can tell, even just growing up in rural Jamaica, so let me know and I will. But thank you for listening, thank you for your support, thank you for your feedback, whether in person or otherwise. Really appreciate it, really having fun with this journey, and I will be on track with the regular videos very soon. I just need to balance my time properly so that I can do the videos properly as well, So until the next video, thank you so much for listening. I soon get a little nice inspirational quote to say when my videos are done, just like the real YouTubers, but yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys, really appreciate you for listening. You don't know, awkward hug time, so bring it in. Yeah, love you here, thank you so much. Alright, cool, boom.